I think overall knowledge of what we're doing now. I think actually going through spring and having this summer, the first week of training camp has been a lot of recall for the guys. So now they're in a position more of, how to do things instead of what to do, trying to iron down techniques and just small details.
Coach, during SEC Media Days, when asked about the strength of the offense, what he hopes it is, Free said the running game. How's the running game coming along, and what do you see from your running backs?
I think the running game is doing well right now, doing a great job in our zone schemes, doing a great job in some of our gap schemes. I think our running backs have been solid. I think we've been getting really good push from our offensive line up front so far, so I've been very pleased.
Have you completely won over your daughter?
I have completely won her over. I think that going through the spring game, and then we had an event, Big Cat Weekend. I think she had a chance to get around and get with some other kids, some of the recruits. She's getting involved with some of the guys I'm recruiting now too, and getting to know them personally. So I think she's all Auburn.
Does she have a pitch? Does she pitch Auburn at all?
Well, you know what? She sings. She goes around the house singing the fight song all the time now. So that's I think that's a really good sign.
Speaking of Big Cat Weekend, the recruiting trail has been really kind to Auburn. What is the staff doing to set themselves apart on the recruiting trail?
I think the big thing is, first, we have an outstanding group of coaches, staff, off the field, recruiting department. Our head coach, he kind of spearheads it all, and everybody's just doing work, grinding and doing a great job to me and communicating with recruits and doing everything we can to sell our vision of what we can do in the future.
Derrick, how much of a challenge is it? You walk in here, you don't know these guys, and when you talk to them, they think a lot of you.
What you talking about, the recruits or
the players?
The players?
Yeah. How much of a challenge is it to walk into a new place and start winning guys over like that?
I think it's huge overall, I think. But I think my thought process going into it was to come in and show these guys that I'm willing to go in here and work, that I'm willing to put in the time, put in the effort. Everything I'm asking them to do, letting them know that I want to do it by example first. And I think once they see that, they see you going into the team meetings, they see you going in and out of position meetings, they see you on the practice field. When we're away from the building, I think that is huge. I think we stressed that this all season, not just coaching our guy between the white lines and not in the building, but taking them to our house, whether it be taking them to bowling, whatever it may be. I think getting to know them on a personal level, I think that kind of eases everything.
Derrick, you were at Ole Miss when they had that run of receivers as part of y'all's offense. What's sort of the checklist that you look at for a young wide receiver like the guys you have right now to make sure they're good to go?
I think those guys, first of all, have to have a unique mindset outside, that when that ball's in the air, it is mine. I think obviously the common traits of having good hands, great route running ability, being able to win one-on-ones, having a sense of toughness about them. And just really, frankly, hey, I want the ball type mentality. I think that's what it takes to. But the way we had success there at Ole Miss is what I think the formula is at wide receiver.
Do you find it a benefit, maybe your experience also coaching receivers, that maybe you're able to help out in that room with a guy like Marcus?
It is definitely, in my opinion, it has helped. My last 4 years being able to do that, getting some hands-on experience doing it. My experiences, different techniques has definitely been a help.
How does Auburn project to use the running backs in the passing game this year? We see that practice, you guys kind of throwing the ball down the field to running backs on wheel routes.
Yeah, it just depends on what the game plan dictates. I think our guys can do some of those things, and I think it just depends on week to week.
Who's the best pass catcher?
If you ask today, Jarquez would say he is. Cobb is probably right up there too. DA's been working on it. So if you ask Jarquez, he's gonna probably jump up first and say he's the best.
Speaking of Jarquez, he's a veteran guy that's been around a long time. Just talk about him and what he brings.
Leadership, number one. Work ethic. The guy comes in a good mood every day. You know what you're going to get. He comes in to punch the clock, and he's going to do extra. He's going to practice hard. He's going to run hard. He just try to perfect it all, and he's always trying to please. After every snap, he's in a position, what can I do better? What can I improve on? And I think that's a great quality to have for a guy that's been a veteran.
Where do you feel like Peyton has shown the most improvement from spring until now?
He's got a quiet confidence about himself. He's operating the offense at a high level. He understands from what Coach Austin is trying to teach him. He's been able to execute that on the field. Just totally confident. He seems at ease in everything. Being able to check protections, get us into the right runs. I mean, it's just a different sense of urgency about himself right now.
You mentioned Jarquez's role as potentially a pass catcher. What do you kind of see out of Damari and what he can do this season? He was injured last year, but has shown a lot of explosiveness as a leader.
A lot of the same things. DA, I think, is an excellent runner in between the tackles, also on the outside edge. He's shown really good hands. I mean, I think both of those guys are kind of yin and yang. I think they both bring a lot of similar skill sets to the table.
Has Keandre kind of lived up to what you thought he'd be?
He has, even more. He's done a great job besides his athletic ability and being a good receiver, but being more of a veteran guy and a leader in that room with all those young wideouts of how to do things the right way. I thought his summer was excellent, getting ready, and you can just tell that he's done this before.
Maybe an off-the-field example of these freshman wide receivers being freshmen. I mean, we joked with Cam this spring. He's like, I'm still learning how to go grocery shopping for myself. Just kind of, what have you seen from them, like in those kind of quirky youth moments?
It's funny and refreshing. The guys they're always happy. They're always around the building. If they're not doing football, man, they might be playing video games. They go bowling. I mean, just the simple things in life. It's water off a duck back. It's like they don't worry about anything. They just do what they need to do, and they're having a lot of fun, and it's kind of refreshing to see that.
Derrick, what's it like to recruit Auburn?
It's really everything I've dreamed of. Having a place with all the tradition, all the resources. There's a lot to sell here from players in the past, coaches in the past. What we're doing right now, facilities, I think it's really put us in the game with a lot of recruits.
Do you feel like, I'm sorry, do you just feel like it's going well right now and you can see this program sort of building its way to being in a championship type of thing?
I do. I think everybody on the staff understands the expectations of what's required to recruit. And we're doing a great job of getting the right guys in front of our head coach and here on our campus. Obviously, we got to sign them all and land them all, but right now I think it's going the right direction.
One thing we've heard some of the guys talking about this week in the offense is just the big plays and getting excited. Is that creating explosive plays, has that been something that's been a point of emphasis?
It always has. I think being a fundamentally efficient scoring machine, it requires us to make explosive plays. But it becomes a standard, an expectation. And we just try to challenge our guys, hey, expect it. If our offensive line can protect, quarterback make the right read, and it's the right coverage, you should make the play, okay? And it should be an explosive, and we should be able to do that, be able to count on that week in and week out. So that is something we talk about. It's something that's expected, and it's needed for this offense to thrive.
Derrick, having grown up in Alabama and thought about coming to Auburn, did you quickly feel like this is home when you got here?
I did. It was obviously growing up being a fan of Auburn when I was a younger kid, getting a chance to be here, walk these halls, be on the practice field. I had to pinch myself and remind myself that I'm here, and got a lot more to do, a lot more goals set. But being here, being a part of this with Coach Freeze has been awesome.
There's been a few, we asked Austin Keys the other day to describe the defense, and he used some words, he said violence. How would you describe the offense on the flip side?
I would say explosive. I think the key word is, I think being consistent. I think we've been more consistent than we were this past spring.
How's the headset stuff been so far? Freeze talked about maybe wanting to throw one of them across the field.
Yep.
First day of practice.
As far as the headset working with the
how much have you guys gotten into
communication with the quarterback? It's been good. It's been great for being able to do that with Peyton some. Really no hiccups as of yet.
How was the RPO sort of not installed because you guys had the spring, but I know that's such a point of emphasis. Where would you say the execution is at in that right now?
We're not all the way fine-tuned with it. I think we're making the right necessary, progression right now. I think from where we were this spring, I think we're much better. And I think our guys, starting with our quarterback, have a great understanding of what we're trying to get done.
You've seen Cam practice since the first day he was out there. Kind of off the top of your head, what's the craziest play you can remember him making out there?
Probably in the spring game, he did a great job of catching a go route. He adjusted to a ball a week ago off of a fade and caught the ball on the defender. You know, something that you really can't coach. He's a guy that can basically still be open even when he's covered. But doing that consistently is what the challenge has been, and he's been showing up and doing that so far.
Getting a guy like Keandre in the offseason, what was your pitch, Marcus's pitch, Coach Freeze? How did you sort of use a guy a lot of people wanted as a highly rated transfer? What did you guys what were those conversations like?
Yeah, coming in and being a vet, you know, treating himself like he's an NFL free agent. They had a chance of going in with a veteran quarterback, being in a position where he can go in there and lead as well, and had a great opportunity to go contribute and, you know, make a lot of plays.
How would you describe him as kind of a leader for some of the younger guys?
Example. So many experiences for him playing in real games and making adjustments. He doesn't get rattled real easy. That's what I would probably say he's brought to the table, just a little bit of a quiet confidence, and he goes out and just produces every single time.
Derek, I want to ask you about Perry Thompson. Just joined the team this summer. What do you see out of him, and what does he need to keep working on?
Yeah, ultra talented, tremendous size, great speed. I think the number one thing is just the lack of experience so far. You know, he hadn't been here very long. I think, you know, only time will tell. I think all the necessary tools are there for him to go be the receiver that we would like to have here. And just more experience, more time, continue to learn what to do.
And also Marcus Simmons, is he kind of surprised you a little bit?
He, you know, obviously you look at the high school tape, it's translating. Malcolm is fast, he's fearless, and he's another guy that he doesn't have any worries out there. He just plays the game, and very pleased with what I've seen from him so far. I think he's going to be a good player for us.
In these days, where players can say, I'm not playing, I'm leaving. How do you handle that in terms of, okay, do you say, we got to get this guy in the game? Even if he's not totally ready, we got to find ways to get him in the game?
I don't think so. I think you got to do a great job of having a great relationships with guys. Because I think the name of the game is to go win. We got to do what we think as coaches to put the best guys on the field, to put the very best product so we can win games. And that involves playing player X a little bit more than the other, so be it. But as far as trying to keep continuity and to keep guys on your roster, I think it's you know, being completely honest. I think being transparent, having a great relationship, and whatever the case may be, understanding that we do a great job of explaining why or what it takes for them to get more playing time.
With all the talk of kind of all the talented receivers this offseason, and for good reason, you know, the name that's kind of been lost a little bit is Ronald Fairweather. What does having a tight end like him, how does that open up the offense? What does that bring to the offense?
It is a huge weapon. He can obviously get inside the box and be able to block free in the run game, but he's also versatile enough he can flex out and be a mismatch in coverage. He ain't lost in my mind. I know what he can do, what he brings to the table. Obviously, we're blessed to have him, and he's going to be a weapon for us this season.
Thanks, Derek.
Yep.
Appreciate it.